What if Europe's most admired royal marriage was built on betrayal, jealousy, and quiet revenge? When Spain's glamorous Queen Letizia was accused of overstepping royal limits and even rumored to betray her husband, King Felipe VI faced not just heartbreak, but humiliation before the entire continent. Felipe didn't explode or expose her. He orchestrated something far colder. A royal payback so subtle, it left the palace silent and the world guessing. Behind the golden gates of Madrid, the King of Spain was rewriting the rules of power, loyalty, and vengeance, one calculated move at a time. This is the story of how a modern queen, born a commoner, challenged tradition, and what the king did when the marriage of the crown began to crack. Let's find out more on Empire Elegance. When journalist Letizia Ortiz Rocasolano married Prince Felipe de Bourbon in 2004, Spain believed it was witnessing a modern-day love story. She wasn't blue-blooded, she wasn't noble, and that was precisely why people adored her, a strong-willed journalist marrying into one of Europe's oldest monarchies. It was a story of love conquering class. For a time, the world saw only perfection. When Felipe became King Felipe VI in 2014, Letizia transformed into the elegant queen consort Spain wanted, glamorous, intelligent, progressive, but inside the palace, whispers began. Letizia was too assertive, too visible, too independent. She was changing the rhythm of the monarchy, and not everyone liked it. Tension exploded publicly in 2018 during Easter Mass in Palma de Mallorca. Cameras captured what seemed to be a small scuffle between Queen Letizia and former Queen Sofia over a photograph with the royal grandchildren. The clip went viral, replayed across Europe. A silent war between the modern queen and the old guard. Behind the scenes, sources described the relationship between Letizia and her in-laws as cold, formal, and occasionally hostile. Former King Juan Carlos I, Felipe's father, was particularly unimpressed. He had lived through scandal himself, but valued discretion above all. To him, Letizia was unpredictable, a woman who brought emotion into a world that thrived on control. Then, in 2024, Juan Carlos released a memoir with a veiled attack on Letizia. He wrote that she did not help to strengthen our family ties. That one line reopened old wounds. It was no longer about a family feud. It was about a monarchy's survival, and about a woman some believed had crossed unspoken lines. Spanish and European tabloids pounced. Rumors surfaced that Queen Letizia had become emotionally distant from the king, that she had formed inappropriate friendships outside palace walls. One Spanish outlet, EDA-TV, even claimed she had a secret lover, publishing a name that sparked outrage. The New York Post, Tatler, and The Independent reported on the allegations, framing them as part of a growing storm of infidelity rumors surrounding the Spanish royal family. The palace said nothing, no denials, no statements, just silence. But silence in royalty is never neutral. It's strategy. The king understood that the more he spoke, the bigger the fire would grow. So, instead, he began orchestrating his revenge, not through words, but through optics. King Felipe is known for his composure. Unlike his father, he avoids drama. His greatest weapon is distance. After the 2024 allegations, royal watchers noticed a shift. Letizia and Felipe appeared together less often. Joint appearances became brief and formal. The Queen's solo initiatives, once heavily promoted, received less visibility on official channels. It was subtle but deliberate, a royal recalibration. Felipe's message was clear: the institution comes first. If his wife's behavior or reputation risked tarnishing that image, she would be quietly repositioned. He would not humiliate her publicly. He would simply reclaim the throne's narrative. In royal strategy, silence is control, and control is power. By mid-2024, the facade of a perfect royal marriage had faded. Letizia's every gesture was dissected. A nervous smile here, a cold stare there. Even harmless body language analyses flooded social media. When the royal family went on their summer trip to Mallorca, media headlines focused less on charity events And more on the question, are the king and queen living separate lives? The palace released polished photos, the king walking slightly ahead, Letizia trailing just behind. To casual observers, it looked like routine protocol. To those watching closely, it looked like payback, the public repositioning of a queen whose influence had grown too bright. The breaking point came not with a confession, but with an image. In one photo from a 2024 state event, Felipe was seen standing alone, smiling for cameras, while Letizia lingered several paces behind. That single shot told the world everything. The distance was no longer rumor, it was real. Spain's tabloids ran side-by-side comparisons, then versus now. In the older photos, they were side by side, hands touching. In 2024, the queen was background, the king foreground. This was no coincidence. Felipe had reclaimed visual dominance. His image, calm, solitary, sovereign, stood unshaken. The queens had faded into the decor. And that was the moment the payback became public. The Power Games sources, close to the royal household, described Felipe as methodical, almost cold in crisis. After the memoir scandal, he restructured palace operations, tightening approvals for public events, speeches, and press interactions. Letizia's independent approach was quietly curtailed. Even family portraits became symbols of hierarchy. In earlier years, Letizia had been portrayed front and center, the face of modern Spain. Now, photographers were instructed to highlight the king's solo engagements and their daughter, Princess Leonor, as the monarchy's future. This was no accident. This was image engineering, royal revenge through perception management. Yet behind this power struggle lies something deeply human. Felipe and Letizia were once partners who defied tradition for love. They faced media storms together, raised two daughters, and tried to modernize an ancient institution. If the betrayal rumors were true, the king's pain wasn't just political, it was personal. Imagine the world watching your marriage unravel, your wife accused of disloyalty, and your father publicly taking sides against her. But if the rumors were false, Letizia's ordeal becomes even darker. A queen punished not for betrayal, but for independence. In either case, the palace became a battlefield of perception, where silence cut deeper than scandal. By late 2024, Felipe's strategy appeared to work. Public sympathy shifted back toward him. Commentators praised his composure and dignity. Juan Carlos remained in exile, and the monarchy, though bruised, stood firm. Letizia maintained her role, but with less autonomy. Her charm and elegance still drew crowds, but her influence on palace direction had faded. She had become the face of duty, not power. In the end, the king didn't need to exile her, accuse her, or humiliate her. He only needed time, distance, and quiet calculation. The payback was complete. The crown remained untouched. This saga isn't just about Spain. It's about the oldest rule in royal history. Betray the image, and you lose the throne. King Felipe VI's response to the Letizia scandal reveals how modern monarchs survive in a media-driven world. They don't retaliate with emotion, they retaliate with precision. His silence became his statement. His restraint became his revenge. Letizia may have won the world's sympathy for her beauty and independence, but Felipe won something far greater: longevity. He preserved the crown, reshaped the narrative, and reminded Europe that in the game of monarchy, appearances are everything. So next time you see a royal couple walking hand in hand at a gala, remember, behind the smiles may lie a story of power, rebellion, and silent revenge. In the case of Spain's monarchy, the queen might have been the glamorous figure, but the king made sure the crown remained unchallenged. If you found this breakdown of Spain's royal power play intriguing, hit the like button, subscribe for more Empire Elegance style stories of betrayal, royalty, and payback, and let me know in the comments, which royal scandal should we dive into next? Thanks for watching, and remember, in the world of monarchy, the spotlight might be bright, but the shadows are deeper than they seem.